there are concerns anti-vaxxers will try to disrupt the jab rollout. Specialist directives reportedly are keeping tabs on anti-vaxxers amid concerned storage facilities may be targeted. Third jab has been approved. What do you mean by targeted? Are you saying that they're like going to blow it up? Surely not. I'm going to assume you're not saying that, because that would be idiotic. I think what you're saying is targeted for a protest as a location. I mean, as long as they're not interfering with other individuals' rights to get the jab and choice to get the jab, I think it's perfectly reasonable to actually do that and to actually go there and voice their concerns, especially for people that are just about to go in. They should have the most information before they go in from both sides, not just one. So the fact that they're sort of doing this is almost a hit job. And we sort of alluded to this in the past, where there's these articles that come out and they say that the COVID world is actually being undermined and it's empowering white supremacists and radical right wingers. That's not what I see, man. That's not what I see. The radical right wingers will continue to get empowered as the radicalism increases on the left and as the media continues to squeeze people, as I said before. Another thing, left-wing extremists are using COVID to inflame tensions. Victoria Police warns left-wing extremists are mimicking overseas movements like Antifa to justify violence. I've been warning about this for over a year, guys. I've been warning that this is going to get worse. It wasn't this bad before. It wasn't this bad. But in times of crisis, a lot of people see crisis as a ladder. And Antifa, these people in society, they need help. They seriously need help. A lot of them don't have a lot going for them. Some of them come from rich families, but a lot of them, they don't have a lot going for them. They need something to do. They don't know how to make it. And it sucks. I honestly, as a Christian, as a human being, as an Australian, I feel sorry for these people. I want to see them flourish. I want to see them very powerful and living up to their full potential. But that is not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a government that doesn't deal with these problems. And as things further deteriorate, we will see the rise of Antifa in Australia. In fact, it's not a new thing. They've been around for the longest time. Didn't the Antifa members actually try and beat up Andrew Bolt from Sky News? There's footage of that. Go check it out while he was filming something. Another thing, we saw them, I think 200 of them, protesting out of CPAC 2019. We saw one of them come in 2020. That was funny. I actually know that Antifa guy, and I give him my thumbs up. We have an interesting rivalry. But this is the thing with the Antifa people and with the radical right wingers, they will continue to rise, and the middle will continue to shrink if they keep this up. It's the further polarization of Australia. I don't like it because I see it. I've seen it in the UK. I've seen it in America, and the media has been fueling this stuff. I bag the media out for being not as powerful as they once were. They are still very powerful at shaping the narrative, and I don't like it because they are destroying our countries. And the real question is why? And then the next question after that is who's funding them? And I don't like the answers to those questions. We need to take our country back. We need to take it back. In fact, that's the name of a podcast from Professor Flint, who's one of the professors who actually nominated Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. He's an Australian professor. Check him out on The Good Source. He does a weekly podcast on that. It's excellent. What does it look like when a country's falling apart? Well, in Oregon, there are 5 counties that are going to vote on leaving the state, escaping to Greater Idaho. Greater Idaho isn't a state yet. It would be the 51st state if they were to form a state, and it was approved. This is very, very troubling. These 5 Oregon counties, this is what we might call a peaceful divorce, as Tim Pool might put it. If a country continues to deteriorate, if the states continue to deteriorate, you will see red counties like these ones in Oregon separate. In fact, there's even talk that, and for those of you that don't know America, that some California states might actually join this from the north of California, because California is to the south of this image. this is what we're going to see. We're going to see the breakdown and a peaceful divorce if this keeps going on. I mean, WA keeps floating the idea. Maybe things will deteriorate sufficiently enough that they want to separate. I don't want to see that. I want to see a united Australia. I want to see a powerful Australia. But our country is being torn apart by some very dark forces. And and I'm very specific. I don't just leave it there. They include the media and their coverage. They are not covering things properly. They are not. We exposed that when they covered the Love Crepe Cafe. They aired a show where they didn't even get a comment from Nick at Love Crepe. And we had to expose it. Alternative media, a guy with no following, 23 years old, hasn't done a degree, had to expose it. And it reached hundreds of thousands of people. Now Nick's business is doing better than ever. And we've got an announcement for that next week. But this is what we're up against. And the people that support this show and pay for this show allow us to do that, to bat for small business. But we need more help from other alternative media people as well. And your support, it means everything to what I do. It really does. And it helps us stop this from happening. Who else is tearing our country apart? Well, our politicians. And this is something the left sort of gets right. People like Drew Pavlo sort of get this right. And don't forget, I was from the left. Corporate interests are tearing this country apart. These lobbyists get into the pockets of many of these politicians in our parliament. They set them up after they leave so that they don't get sued in a nice, comfortable position, maybe on a bank's board, the CEO, or some nice, comfortable positions. They rack up a few of these board positions because it doesn't take much effort to do. And the next thing you know, you're set for life. That's where we're at. That is where we're at. And these politicians do not put Australians' interests first. And, well, I mean, why has it taken so long? Answer me this. Why has it taken so long to improve the aged care facilities of our parents? This isn't a new problem. This has been around for decades. They've done a terrible job of it. It's only Scott Morrison that's actually come around and said, I want to address this properly. I need some answers. Let's do a royal commission. And, full credit to him. But you can be damn well sure that I'm going to be making sure you stick to the good recommendations that were made, all 148 of them. We need to stop this country from falling apart, guys. We are on a terrible path. Here's another sign of the deterioration of what's happening in society. This is the American cash rate. How much cash has actually been printed in America? The measurement unit is billions of dollars. And as you can see, it sort of tracks along for the last 50, 60 years, from 1960 to 2020, and then it shoots up in 2020. In fact, before 2020, it was almost at $4,000 billion. That's the unit of measurement they've got. And then it goes up to 18,000. Now, I don't do maths, but that's 4.5 times the amount it was before 2020. That's insane. That's insane. That's like up 800%. That's insane, guys. Up 400%. That's crazy. I think that we're due for a collapse if things go wrong. Now, I don't do financial advice, guys, but I'd be very careful in investing in anything right now, whether it's the stock market, whether it's property, but don't take my financial advice. Remember, I'm 23. What do I know about this stuff? But when I see the money supply shooting up like that, it's exactly what we saw before world wars. It's exactly what we saw before a country collapses like Venezuela. Watch out. Watch out, people. It's funny. I didn't plan it this way. The graphics just sort of came out this way. It's funny. I didn't plan it. There was a recent survey that came out which basically went through the biggest issues that faced the voters in the Democrat Party, but also in the Republican Party. So they split it. In the Republican Party, it was interesting how they broke it down. Republicans were most concerned about 1, illegal immigration, 2, lack of support for police, 3, high taxes, 4, liberal bias. That was very, very interesting. And it's concerning to see that. I'm having a bit of a mind blank right now. I think that I honestly thought election fraud was a lot higher. These are sort of the main concerns that facing the Republican Party. Now, illegal immigration, there's a few reasons for that. A lot of people aren't having their jobs taken by illegal immigrants. And if you think I'm being xenophobic, it's the truth. In Texas, there's a great story, and you can look this up, about a chickens farm where they hired 3,000 illegal immigrants. ICE, which is their immigration department, federal department, they stormed the facility. They got rid of the 3,000 illegal immigrants working in this chicken processing factory. And 3,000 black people, Americans, got hired there. That's what we want to see. We want to see people from that country being hired. So a lot of people are concerned about this, especially when there's a shortage of jobs in America. And there's a ton of other concerns that were raised. But the point you should be taking from this is the first 5 things are all sort of, they're policy based. We go to the Democrat side, basically, and the top issue they have is Donald Trump supporters at 82%. 82% are extremely concerned. 10% are somewhat concerned. So that's 92% that are very concerned about Donald Trump supporters. That's not good. That is not good. That is a sign that the country is coming apart. The next one after that is white nationalism at 79%. Then after that, systematic racism. And then there's gun violence.